I need to move that internet. It's super slow. Yo! All right, 1 second. See if the mic's working.
It's not.
I see the audio. 1 second. Edit mic settings. Mic volume. It's got to be there. Sorry.
Actual settings.
Can y'all hear any of this? Osmo Pocket 3. Okay. All right. Can y'all hear me? Okay, cool. Everybody's here.
I can hear you.
Yeah. All right. So I don't like to have to make this video, but I'm not one to let things slide. I'm not one to let people say things that aren't true, that are factually provable to not be true. So if you've known me for any amount of time, you know that I'm going to bring the receipts. I'm not going to say anything that I wouldn't say to your face. I'm not going to say anything that I don't have facts for. So customer hits me up. We're going to just go straight into this, right? So customer hits me up, and he's been through 2 tuners, and, he's just not happy with his car. I'm going to pull this up just because I want to go off of his words. Coming to the stage. I've redacted his name, just to kind of keep it, Anyways. All right, so here's the car. 2017 Camaro ZL1. Pretty simple setup. Stock bottom end, upper pulley, lower pulley, Kong porta blower, aux pump, intake, dual meth. We're going to talk about this one right here. Flex, and was told that he could run E68, but don't trust it. I'm not sure what that means, but you wouldn't trust it because that setup with a stock cam with the meth setup like that, there's no way it's going to fuel that much pulley on a porta blower. So I know that vent mouse is cool. Anyways, so this is his complaint. Tune issues. This is from his email. Coming to a rolling stop, car shifts hard. Once I'm cruising and the car tries to shift into 10th gear, there's like a hesitation, almost like something is binding. We're going to come back to that. Made a pull once and it bounced off the rev limiter like it didn't want to shift at like 140-ish. Since then, I stopped driving it. So my message back to this customer was, hey man, I saw some things in this file that I don't like. And I think that we should, you should not drive the vehicle until we do a calibration and fix the issues. I know who tuned it. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how I feel about the tuner. It matters that, hey, I don't like how this is set up. If you want my opinion is do not drive the car until we fix it. Okay. So I think that's fair, right? So once I do that, we get, let me see how to do this. 1 second, guys. Mail, because I want you guys to see everything. I don't want. To be about that. All right, I'm sending myself some of these screenshots so you guys can see it. Because the customer's like, man, I really think I should get I really feel like I got screwed. So I should ask for a refund. I said, you can ask him, and he'll probably give it to you because he's typically does that to how do I say it? He typically refunds people pretty easily to try to save his name. And he's got people believing that he's not the guy that talks shit. It's not him. So we're gonna go over that too. All right, let Let's see. Moving some files over. Almost there. Boom. A little bit. Wind is moving the internet to try to get it a little quicker. Sorry. Okay. All right. Files moved. Let me go over here. All right. Let me move back. Da-da-da. Add to stage. Here we go. So these are text messages between him and the customer, or him and Derek, customer and Derek. So this is stuff that, you know, when the customer says that he's not happy with it, that he's going to use me as a tuner, and the customer's in here so he can, you know, corroborate this if he wants.
Can you just say his name was redacted?
His name is redacted. He's still in here. I didn't say who he was. He can say who he is
If you want.
if he wants. So we can read this together if we want. I don't know what order it's in, but you know, let's go with this. You guys can read it as you wish. So let's just start with this one. Now, you should probably read that. Blah, blah. Okay, so this has to come after this. We're piecing this together in real time, guys. So I'm going to assume this one, right? If I wasn't as good as I say I am, because, you know, if you're good, you need to tell people how good you are. Of course, right? You don't let your cars talk. Don't you think there would be more than one tuner talking shit? No, because we don't need to. Your work speaks for itself. Adding widebands to a Blackwing speaks for itself. Don't you think I'd have a shit rating on Google? Like, that's not adjustable. Or on here, why am I always recommended? That needs to be studied. You really need to do your research of what's going on right in front of you. Please let me know how I can refund you. So, right, Derek refunds. I could respect that. Read the C&D, my lawyer pertaining to the video link you posted. Your car was running perfectly fine. You even admitted that I'm mind blown. You literally believe that fake stuff. I would do more research. I would do more research on how big of a liar and thief Justin is. I'm trying to save you the headache of dealing with fake shit, but that's your call. How do you want your refund? Just let me know. I can refund your money. No matter the facts presented, you seem to have your mind made up, which is a terrible choice. Howard, please. Oh, I'm sorry. Please let me know how to send your refund. And this is the C&D that he's talking about. We're going to get into this. You actually have it all wrong. Justin is a liar and a thief. I have a lawsuit against Justin for fake posting and slander. You can definitely have your money back gladly. Screenshots of said C&D. We're going to get to that. You should probably read that. The case already decided in my favor. So apparently me and Derek went to court and the case was decided in his favor. I can legitimately leave you high and dry because you violated the terms and service of our agreement twice. Does that sound like somebody that, you know, look at all these texts. How many texts did the other guy send back? Does that not look like a psychotic girlfriend or somebody that knows that he's doing shit wrong? He says, "God, my real name ain't Howard." All right. So here we go. So this is the first thing. He's telling this guy who he doesn't know. He sends him screenshots of a cease and desist that does have my business address and my home address. I don't live there anymore, but my addresses to somebody that he doesn't know, right? And then he's claiming that there's a lawsuit against me. Take your time, guys. Make sure to type into Google Justin Whitetune versus Derek Dunbar lawsuits. You won't find it. It's never happened. So let's get into the C&D because this shit's funny.
What business address does he have?
Huh?
What business address does he have?
220 Baron.
Jesus Christ.
So I'm going to bring all that up too, just so you guys can see it. And I'll post it if you guys need me to post it somewhere. I don't mind. But give me 1 second. Where is that I sent you?
You say that?
I was almost prepared for this, guys. Give me a minute. I just want to make sure I show you everything so it's not...
It's been a hell of a day.
It's been a hell of a day. And I don't want to say anything that isn't factual 100%. And we are going to go through this tune file, and I'll tell you why I didn't like what I didn't like, what my opinion is, and this is my opinion, and why I thought that this car was a little bit dangerous. So we're definitely going to go through that. Ta-da. All right. Oh, I didn't save that picture earlier. What?
I get too much bread for somebody who didn't eat any bread.
Yeah, no. All right. All right, I'm gathering data. So anyway, so where we're at with the cease and desist. So Derek says that he sent me a cease and desist. I want to show you the cease and desist so you guys can see. Da-da-da. I know. I'm sorry. I swear I'm normally... No, I'm not. I'm never more prepared.
One time we were prepared, it didn't work out.
Yeah. Anytime I am prepared, it's not good. All right. And then these two, this. All right, so let's pull up some more pictures over here. This is going to be said cease and desist that he sent me, which I've never received at all. And you'll see why, because that's even funnier. Yeah. Anyways. All right. So here it is. So these are what he sends this guy, you know, a guy that he doesn't know, all because, you know, he's just, I guess, trying to prove that he's better, right? Because, you know, people haven't talked about him on Google or something. But why would you send this to somebody that you don't know, claiming that there's a lawsuit? If there was a lawsuit on this, correct me if I'm wrong, YouTube would have taken that video down, correct? I'll make sure to put that in the link. The video, the last time he was doing wide bands on a Blackwing that don't need it, and all the other complete crap that he was doing. But this is what he sends the customers so you guys can see it. Obviously, this is Gian Law Firm. What really stuck out to me and was kind of funny, this law firm is from California, right? So this is California Civil Code. Derek lives in Louisiana. He thinks I live in Houston. I live in Puerto Rico, all of which are not California. So why do we have a California lawyer? And then if he did this, right, they said that they emailed me, Gian Law Firm. This is what I actually was sent. And I posted this back in the Gap, but we're gonna pop that back up too. Boom. This is what I was sent, and we can kind of quickly read it, but this is from my email, as you can see. Dear Mr. White, this firm represents a client who wishes to remain anonymous at this time, but who has been directly affected by defamatory, slanderous, and libelous statements made by you on your podcast, Tuned In with Justin White, wrong name, specifically in the episode published on or about the week of ending June 21st. So we didn't name who I defamed. We didn't name the video in which I defamed him in. How do you have a defamation lawsuit against somebody that's unnamed against a video that I don't even know? Who did I defame? What video did I not do? What video is it on? So this is his thing telling me to take down the video that I don't know what it is. This is Jonathan Thomas Brown, Esquire, JTB Law. which is completely fictitious and is not a real lawyer. I looked into this. I found it. I got a little chuckle. And then I was like, man, that's funny. So let me ask. So this is my reply. Dear Mr. Brown, I'm writing in response to your letter received, blah, blah, which alleges defamatory statements that were made by me on a podcast aired the week of June 21st. I take legal concerns seriously and respect the importance of protecting an individual from defamation. However, the claims in your letter are too vague. You do not provide enough information to me. You get the point. Who are we defaming? How do we fix it? I never got a response back. Then this guy, because I'm not going to say his name, this guy goes on to tell people that, oh, I've never sent him a cease and desist. That didn't happen. So in some talking back and forth, he's talking to another guy, bragging about how much money he makes every year because he's telling people he makes $1 million a year. And he sends this guy a screenshot. And I'm going to see if you guys can note what the tabs say, because this is hilarious. Huh? Where is it? I think I sent it over here. Screenshot. All right, let's make this bigger. So this is Derek claiming that he made, $400 something thousand. And I'm like, oh, that's cute. Whatever. Okay. But let's zoom into the tabs that are pulled up. Now, this is from the guy that I said his name, didn't mean to say his name. What does it say right here? Which is funny because he's obviously still trying to learn how to read spark plugs. That one there too. That was good. He's obviously getting in a cob. I feel bad for you guys. But right here, a cease and desist. And this screenshot is from way back. This was back in October? Yeah, this is back in October that this happened. So we got a cease and desist from a law firm that doesn't exist. We've got him sending a cease and desist from a law firm that does exist, but is in California. None of this makes any sense. So what's crazy is why? Why, if the customer said he's unhappy with it, right? Do you think that instead of saying, okay, I'm sorry, let me give you your money back, like anybody with any kind of backbone would do, you think that you need to go in here and send, this many messages just back to back trying to talk shit and tell people how good you are? If you're good, let the cars talk. I don't need to tell you how good I am. I think, I know what I know, and what I don't, I'll ask. And that's the same thing I've been preaching on here, is that if you don't know and you want to ask, I will tell you anything you ask me. If you're man enough to ask me a question to learn, I'm man enough to give you the answer. I don't care if I like you, don't like you, anyway. I don't want you ruining it for the next guy out there. I don't want the customer to never want to, work on cars again. Nobody wants to sit there and go through battle after battle after battle and people learning on their shit, and then they eventually just get out of it and everybody loses that customer forever. I don't think that's fair. So, is what it is. That's the facts. From here forward, we're going to go ahead and move into the tune file, and I'll tell you what I saw. I have a compare file of a completely OEM file. I'll tell you what my issues were and what to look for. And then I'll explain why I think things are an issue. So if you've been this far, and if you've been DD-teched, we are going to give you a discount code. We tried it last time, but we figured it out this time. If you want to put in the comments what the discount code should be, let me know. We will give you 10% off of your corrected tune with the code that you guys pick. So whoever gets the most comments down here of what you want the code to be, that will be 10% off for anybody that needs to come from the dark side into the right side. I don't have to tell you how good I am. I'll show you. So let's move into this tune file. All right. So what we've got here, column ported blower. We went over its bolt-ons. It's got quite a bit of boost. It's a ported blower, so it's going to need quite a bit of fuel. All right. And then this right here is the matching OS factory file. So we're going to start from the beginning. Everything, if you don't know how this works, everything in the green is a change. Okay. If I went in and edited anything, you would see, let's see, we'll just make a change. You'd see it would turn green and red. So none of this has been changed. This is, exactly as it came. Calibration detail. Creation date, 11/25/2025. So I did not alter this tune because I didn't have to. It's really that bad. Let's go. So again, mostly a stock car. So we don't need to really worry about the VVE because it's a factory cam. No real issues there. The The speed density portion should be fairly close. This should be a pretty easy tune. The one thing being that you really need to make sure that your injection window is modified. That's critical. We're going to get there. So he's come in, he's made a couple changes here. That's not really an issue. The mass air curve, I believe that you should always rescale this to get proper resolution, but you don't have to. Decent, a little bit more fuel, no big deal there. Base airflow is way higher, and I'm not sure why the base airflow needed to be higher since it's the factory cam and it's the factory airflow at idle. Doesn't make any sense. Regardless of how you feel, I'm not against this. This is totally okay. Variable cam, nothing changed. That's okay. Let's go to the problem areas. All right, so what I said about the fueling, you need extra fuel. You need extra injection window. If you're trying to fuel a car that's going to make a lot of boost, you need to be able to stay within that injection window. Anybody that knows anything or needs to know a little bit, start of injection is where you make that change. Start of injection, if you don't move it up, you keep the same factory window, and you'll never be able to fuel the car properly. It'll run out of the injection window. The car will choke. It'll pop up top, which is what the guy's saying it was doing. It's going to make 100, 200 less horsepower. It's not right. So we go in here. He made the change here because it's flex fuel. That's correct. But this right here, if you're on flex fuel, this is factory. This is how it scales. Once you have more flex fuel, alcohol flows different through an injector than gasoline does, right? So that's what this table does. At this percent of alcohol, this is the correction to the flow rate because the flow rate does change from alcohol to gasoline. He changed it to 1. Not sure why. Probably just doesn't understand how that works. Then we go down here and we're like, man, what did he do with the injection window? Oh, it's stock. It's completely stock on a car that's probably going to make 750, 800 horsepower with this much boost. That's not going to work. You can't do that. If that's ignorance, then you should learn better, right? If you don't know how the injection window works and you don't know how this system works, then you shouldn't tune it. You should tune something that you understand or ask somebody, don't be a piece of shit, and we'll help you. I'll help any tuner, not that one, but everybody else. So we'll go into power enrichment. So 1.17, not a bad value. I'm okay with that. So we do 14.67. If we want to know what this is, we do divided by 1.17. 12.5338. I'm okay with that if it hits that. That's the funny thing that he said that start of the run would be 12.7, end of the run would be about 11.2, 11.3, which is horrendous, but that's a common thing with this guy. Every time he does a car, they're so pig rich that it's not even close. It's not even close to target. I don't know how he leaves them like that. Blows my mind. So, I'm okay with saying this because it's not like this guy, doesn't know that he's not good. I think he fully may believe that he's good, but every tune file I put on here that we talk about has so many blatant errors that I just can't believe that first, I can't believe he's recommended anymore, but I can't believe that, he doesn't know that he's doing it wrong. Let's keep going. Everything else here is okay. Here's our timing table. So if you don't know how this works, let me tell you how this works. And let me show you the factory one so you understand about what it should look like. Because, GM doesn't do anything for no reason. So the way this works is you think boost, and I've said this before, but boost is about 1.0 typically. So right around here. When you start cresting into boost, you're about 1.0 if everything's scaled properly. Like you didn't just go back there and mess up your injector flow because you don't know what you're talking about. Right here at 1.0, let's say we're starting to roll into boost. Look at what the timing does. As you come in it, you hit the throttle, it does this, right? And that's, the more boost, the less timing you get because that's how things work. If you tune the car and you're at 1.4, 1.5, right? And then it suddenly gets super cold outside because it does do that. Now you're in this area. So now you have a little less timing. That's how it's set. That's how it needs to be. Not Derek. The way he does it is everything's the same timing. So we've got a car that is on E85 that has nowhere near the right amount of fuel. I'm going to go over the meth because it does have meth, but there's a problem with the meth. We're going to go to that. So we don't have enough fuel. And say this car runs, make sure I don't misspeak. Say his car puts pump gas in it, right? So let's just guess this thing's probably making realistically 14 to 16 pounds of boost, stock motor, stock cam, tons of cylinder pressure. No matter what, this thing is getting 18.5 degrees of timing. Doesn't matter how much boost it picks up, regardless. If it's on pump gas, this car is getting 18.5 degrees of timing from start to finish. From all the way down here at 2,400 RPM, 18.5 degrees of timing, all the way to the end on pump gas. Pump gas. Right here, it would have to be 176 degrees intake temp on pump gas to pull 1 degree of timing out. 1. For reference, factory would have already pulled 8 degrees out. Okay, so that's my first, oh my God, you probably shouldn't drive this. Definitely not on pump gas. Okay, let's assume that he was still running the 85, and let's just say that he's got an injector for it, right? So we click this. This is our adder, and we're going to say, we're probably right around here or here. So our 18.5 now has another 8.5. Now there's a modifier, which is this. So look, if he puts E80 in a car that doesn't have fuel, whatever, he was told to run less, so let's say 0.62. So we're going to say about half of this. So we've got 18 plus, let's say 4.5. And then we didn't have one here. So give me a second. I'm not that great at math. 18.5 plus, say 4.5. I know, right? My job's fucking tuning and I don't know math. So that's 23 degrees on a car that probably doesn't have enough fuel to fuel it at 12.5 air fuel. You make that make sense. And I'm not saying you can't run a lot of timing. If you had proper fueling on this car, you could get away with 25, 26 degrees of timing, no problem, if you fuel it properly. But as we saw with the start of injection window, this car is not fueled properly. If we look here with our IAT, like I said, regardless, there's no modifier changed for that. Right here, factory, we're going to go back factory. Factory, as that temp went to 176, it'd be 1.05 of that. So it would at least make a little more. And then right here, it'd be 1.2 of that. So it would at least do a little more. He puts it all 1. I would assume he just doesn't know any better. So you just made that even less reduction. Humidity, I don't care about that. All right, so here's where my biggest problem was. And if you saw my story the other day, you'll understand. The biggest problem we have with A10s, A6s, A8s, all that, is that somebody will go to tune this car and they'll be driving and they'll roll into it and it'll dip and it'll shift, right? So it'll go, it'll jerk timing and it'll shift. And these people, I guess are assuming that, well, if it's pulling timing, it's wrong. I don't want it to pull timing. That's stupid because that makes it slow. So they go in this minimum spark table and they set the minimum spark to something like this, 10 degrees. For reference, factory is -10, okay? Because if the transmission is pulling timing, there's a reason it's pulling timing. I have log after log, and I can tell you that even with, let's say, Tim King's car, Max Anthony's car, Wendy's car, these are A10 cars making 1,200 plus horsepower. They pull a little bit of timing on the 2-3 shift. They pull a little bit of timing on the 6-7 shift. They do not pull timing on any other shift. Any of those guys, if they're in here, they can say that. I've showed them in the log. This table stays stock, or I actually put it -25 usually, because if it's pulling timing, there's a reason. So you don't go in here and you limit the table, because when you're driving this car like Max does to church, or you're driving it to work, and the trans is like, okay, I need to make a nice smooth shift. Let me pull a little bit of time and engage this easy. And then it goes to pull timing and it's like, oh no, I can't do that. So it binds the clutches together. So this may not kill it right away at wide open because it may not have been pulling the timing anyways, provided he had everything else right. But if it does need to pull the timing, right, it can't do that. So all it does is it binds the clutches together. Does the same thing on any, you know what? I'll pull one up just to show you, and I'm just going to pick one randomly here. Let me find one. Give me 1 second. All right, so let's go this one. Give me a second, I'm gonna pull it up. And I'm just picking a random file from him because I know this is gonna be there. That's how confident I am. Like, I know it's gonna be there because it's in every single freaking car he does. And this is like the leading issue of 6Ls when they burn up. Like, we know this is what's causing it. And I've talked about this. And, you know, he could be watching this video. And if he is and he wants to get in here and defend it, he can hop in here and defend it. I will add him right away. Okay, no problem. Here it is. So this is a random file that I pulled. I just typed in DD Tech in my repository. And this is the table right here. So we got our minimum spark, right? So this one, now being a 6L, see, negative 25. That's a normal thing, right? But this is torque management. This is where the 6Ls look for to pull timing. This guy lost a transmission, I'm pretty sure. And if you look in here, 5 degrees. So if that car needed to pull timing on a shift, it could not pull timing. What did it do? It rips the clutches to pieces. This is every single file that he does. So it's not that he doesn't know, because I've already said it a million times. You know, I've already said a million times what the issue is out loud in here. I know people show him this. So why doesn't he fix it? Because I guess he just thinks he knows better.
He showed us the engineer and lawyer.
He did show, yeah. Well, he obviously watched the other video because he showed the other lawyer. Let's see. Here's another one. This is another file. You can tell the name's different. This guy did lose a trans as well, you know. And as soon as he told me that he lost a trans, I said, "I bet you the clutches look like this." And he goes, "They absolutely do." Bingo. Here's the problem. It's that simple. But he's not going to put this back because he doesn't know how to populate everything else properly for the trans to shift properly. People are like, man, my 6L shifts great with his tune. It will for a little bit until the clutches can't hold anymore. Stop doing this, you know, because all he does is people don't know because you don't know what you don't know. This is destroying transmissions. On a 10-speed, you should never have to do this. It doesn't make sense. So too much timing on pump gas, not enough retard if it's getting hot, timing locked. These are issues that I found. Now, keep in mind, this car's making quite a bit of power, right? We're making probably 14, 16 pounds of boost. This thing's got to be making a decent bit of power if it has fuel. Let's keep going. This is the recovery rate. This is the rate at which, when it sees knock, how fast it puts it back in. So the factor value is like 0.6. I'll raise it sometime to like 1.0, right? So when it knocks, it'll put it back. But you don't want it too fast because when it knocks, it superheats the cylinder. If it superheats the cylinder, you want it to ease that timing back in, right? Not Derek. So this is the factory one, 0.2, 0.1, 0.055 in power, right? Because if it knocks, you want that to come back in slowly. You don't want to burn something up. No, we put that at 2 because 4 times the factory limit is what we need. This is how much timing it's allowed to reduce. Up to 10 degrees. If there's enough knock that it needs to pull 10 degrees, it will. Now let's drop that to 7. No clue why he did it. I'm sure he doesn't know why he did it, but he did it. We go to knock retard. Right here, 8. I'm not mad at 8. I'll give 8. But the problem here is he's raised it up so much at 5 with the threshold that 8 is essentially a 12. You know, right here, this is 1.0. He's raised the threshold here too. So now that 8 is essentially a 12. If it was 8, I'd be okay with it. But it's not. So the knock sensors are turned down. It's never going to know on pump gas that, 18 is too much timing. Let's see. I will say that typically we want high and low to be different. And at the end of the file, I do that. He didn't do that, but I guess he wasn't at the end. I just wanted to check that. All right. Torque model. No problem. No problem. No problem. All right. I'm not mad at none of this. Whatever. Cool. Changes here. So this is factory. Anybody that knows, and Ryan Stevens has actually made a post about this. Don't touch this. Whatever you do, don't touch this. If you don't know what you're doing on it, definitely don't do that. And I can assure you that this is a global change that was made and that was touched because he just basically put it a %, right? He just went, boop, more. You could tell also because there's positives and negatives. So he did a percent, and if you know how math works, that's how that works. We're going to go back in here, and then we're going to look at our safeties. None of that's altered. If you haven't seen where I alter this table, I think this should have been populated from the factory, but I usually populate this table. I'm actually going to, I'll populate it real quick and show you what I do, because if you're here and you're learning, this is super cool. So I do 175, because 175, you're getting hot, right? And then I'll do 215. Don't worry. If you don't understand, I'll explain it. And then I'll do like 1.5, 1.8. Okay. So when you pull timing, because it's getting hot, right? Remember I said, if it's getting up there in temperature, you need to get timing out. The problem that I think a lot of people don't get is, say you're on that pump gas and it's pulling that time, and you pull so much timing, you make the motor really inefficient, and you can only pull so much timing before you still hurt something. So I don't know why this isn't populated factory, but right here, once we hit 175, I'm allowing 3 grams per cylinder, right? Which is that number I showed you. Anything over 1 is boost, okay? If everything's populated right. Once we get to 183, you know that we've already pulled timing, right? Now we're going to drop it down to, if the boost is over 1.5, we're going to drop that down. If we're getting 191, now we're 1.0. That means I'm cutting you down to where you make no boost. And then from there, obviously lower. So it's going to shut the throttle. It's going to drop the boost out of the car. It's going to reduce the timing. And there's also some other tables that I changed that will actually use that temperature to add some fueling to cool everything back down. If you're tuned by us, you know, because this is probably already in your file. Thought that was really cool for you guys to see.
Quickly.
What?
Did we tune that guy's stuff?
Not yet. We're about to. What?
Go fish your shit last night.
I know. I sent him. All right. So here we go. This, I'm not mad at it. I don't care. It's not something that is going to really matter. We're not going to go through DTCs. Transmission. So again, this guy paid for a car making roughly, let's just say about 800 horsepower, 14, 16 pounds of boost. The trans is for sure going to be tuned, because you wouldn't want it to be stock. You paid for a tune. Let's go through here. All right. So he changed this, right? So what he's doing here is actually funny enough for a guy that doesn't copy me. This is something I did a long time ago back in the day. Anything under 69% throttle, the car would not auto upshift. That way, when you're doing burnouts, you could select your own gear. And then once you get over 75% throttle, it'll shift. I will stand on that I was the first one to do that, and he copied it, and that's hilarious. Flattery. So this is what he changed, but he didn't change any of this, and maybe that's okay. Stock cam, we're going to shift 6,400. I'm not mad at that. Shift pressure 250. 400. So basically he just brought everything up a little bit. I ain't mad at it, but it ain't right. Safety offset. Now, when you see something like this, look at this and then look at this. What that tells me is that that's copied out of something else. Because do you think that he was like, gearbox torque at 0 in 6th gear shouldn't be, 46. We should make that 33. No, that's what copy paste looks like. And, if you copy paste, that's whatever. Just own your shit. This is just a modifier once the shift already starts. I'm not mad at that. That's okay. All right. So you think that we added pressure. We copy pasted this. We brought the max pressure from 174 to 250. We added a little here. So surely we did the shift timing, right? Like, why wouldn't you? No. We left all the shift times stock. Desired output stock, downshift stock. Get to our torque converter. We cranked the torque converter up. So basically, if you ever get that shutter issue that you guys get, this is a way that you could fix it. So basically, he took this table and he multiplied it up. I ain't mad at it. Apply rate. Okay. Do you think that we went from, let's just go this one. That doesn't make sense, right? 3.17, and we're like, you know what? Let's do 2.94 because that matters, or that's out of something else. You can zero this out. That's okay. No problem. We didn't adjust the lockup strategy at all, here nor there. I'm okay with all that. All right, so that's pretty much about where we needed to be for engine, trans. Let's go to fuel system, because remember, we didn't adjust the fuel system start of injection. No clue, don't know why that. Now this car is flex fuel. Sensor diag right here is enabled. It enables the logic to test for the sensor. If the sensor fails, it can pop a code. It lets you know. You're supposed to enable this. If you didn't know, now you know. He did not enable it. Regulation pressure at maximum is allowing your pump to go higher. This is just your commanded pressure once you go wide open. But if you're making a lot more boost down low, you need that fuel to come in high pressure faster, right? Don't forget, what do you want the discount code named? Are they in there? You guys give me some discount code names in the comments so we can add that. All right, so what you would want to do here, and this is, again, my opinion, but you're obviously making a lot of boost by 3,600. So you're moving, less than this 500. So what I'll normally do is kind of bring this down like that. Okay, and then you have an inverse here. Obviously, you want to put your inverse and then put like a 0.9. That way, when it does go to high pressure, it comes back out of high pressure when you let off the gas. Because if not, and you have like an aux pump, like a DSX aux pump, and you let off the gas, you just hear that thing keep running, this is your culprit, because factory, it does stay in high pressure for quite a while. But since that wasn't done, that means this car is going to run at, 50 PSI to the rail instead of the 80 that he's commanding, all the way until 4,000 RPM, which is not enough. That's the best way I could say that. And here, none of the fuel pumps adjusted. Right here, you would think that if you didn't adjust the start of injection, maybe give it a little more pressure, right? Because surely he would have done that to make sure that we have adequate fueling. And as you can see, it's not. This is stock. Stock, 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 stock. So on a DI car that you cranked up boost, you have 18.5 degrees of timing no matter what on pump gas. You have no extra fueling other than what you got factory. You got a little more low side pressure, but that's not till 4,000 RPM. If this was your car, right, would you not think that, hey, if I knew this, I wouldn't want to drive that car. I wouldn't want to drive something that dangerous. That was my opinion. That's what was told to the customer. I didn't tell the customer, hey, this guy's blah, 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 like he did. All I said was, I think the car is unsafe to drive. You should wait and we should retune it. Simple as that. I'm guessing this is just pulled out of some other stuff. What the? So the minimum voltage for the fuel system right here, down low at the low fuel rates, is 14.7 factory. And I guess Derek decided that 10 was a better voltage at low flow rates. Or that's just copy pasted. That's why. Yeah, copy paste. All right, so diag system voltage 12.5, 11.2 is factory, move 12.5, 14.0 is factory, 14. So basically this is just copied out of something else. So he wrote this file off of something else, obviously. We've seen too many copy paste options. And that about concludes it. So do you think that I was fair to tell this guy that I think this car is unsafe to drive? That's up to you. But now you actually see what happened. Cease and desist never happened, other than the fake one he did send me, which is funny because he claimed he didn't do it. And then on his thing, he's obviously searching cease and desist and how to read spark plugs. Maybe he should learn how to calculate lambda because he doesn't know that either. But we're not here just to slander. We're here to show that what did and didn't happen. The facts, the data, this right here. If you guys have any questions on this tune, what I did, what my opinion is, if you think that something I said was wrong, please put it in the comments. Let me know, what you think. If you have an opinion, you want to hop on here, I'll stay on for another few minutes and I'll pop you up in the thing here. You can actually come in and just dispute it, debate it. We can talk about it, anything. I think Wendy's been going through the comments. Yeah. Let me get y'all's opinion in the comments. Do you think that this was warranted? Do you think that we handled this the correct way? I don't want to go call people out. my thing on this, and the whole reason I started this was because I used to be that guy that talked shit about people and was toxic and all that. And then, over time I learned that was not the way, and it may have taken me 30 years to learn that. But for the last 7, I've been trying to do everything better. I've offered to help people. I have people that reach out to me and they say, hey, I'm having this issue. Just had it happen on a Camaro. Hey, I had this issue, blah, blah, blah. Can you help me with it? They send me a file. I just put the fix in there and send it back. And they're like, oh my God, that fixed it. Cool. I'm tired of watching people struggle and ruin cars for customers. So if there's anything that I'm doing wrong, I'm totally happy with, discussing it. If there's something that I said that you guys feel is wrong, I'm okay discussing it. Again, I know what I know, and I ask anything that I don't know. And I just ask that if you're a tuner and you're watching this and you have any questions, if you're not Derek, hit me up, ask me. I will help you. If you think I don't like you, blah, 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 that's not a thing. If I don't like you, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to let you know. If I see you at the track, I will call you out. I don't play those stupid games. I don't do that shit. If I tell you something, I'm bringing receipts. Okay? I don't care. If you need help and you want to ask me and you're man enough to ask, I'm man enough to help. If you have trouble and you don't understand something, please just ask. Don't do this to people's cars. This is not fair to people. One thing I wanted to touch on real quick, the meth. I said that there was an issue with the meth. I want to explain what I was talking about. So basically the way the alky control system sets up, we need at least 65 PSI behind the nozzle, right? And theoretically, we'd like 85 or more. When you run 215 nozzles, okay, you're spraying into an inlet that is not pressurized, okay? So you with 215s, you're probably barely getting 65 if you didn't adjust the pump, which most people don't. If you're tuned with me, you know that I've made you pull that controller out and we've made adjustments. The issue with this one, I'm going to go back to his comments here. His comments were one meth nozzle is in the intake elbow. The other is in the back of the blower, which I'm assuming is in the lid. The issue that we have here is if we're already at about the minimum for proper atomization of 65 PSI, in that front nozzle, we're going to have about 65 PSI. In the other nozzle that's probably in the lid, seeing 16 something PSI pushing on the other side of it, you now have only the flow of about 40 PSI. You see the issue? Because it has to overcome that. The problem is you already needed the fuel from the meth to be able to run even E50, honestly, with this setup, but you just dropped out 15 PSI or whatever of spray out of that back 15 nozzle. So what I would suggest, and I'm going to suggest to this customer, is that we take that nozzle out if possible and move it. And we'll also adjust the controller to make sure that we get proper fuel atomization. I'm not against where it's at, but you have to understand what you're doing when you do it. If you don't have enough pump because you're running 2 big nozzles, you lose a lot of the fueling that you were trying to gain in the beginning. So that's my issue there. If you guys, like I said, if you think that that's wrong, please just say it. I don't get offended. I'd rather learn. And I wish more people were like that. So I'm going to pull this down. All right, let's go through a couple of these. And then, I want to give you guys a chance to talk. Tell me, did I do wrong? Did I do right? Do you guys, do you want to see this? I'm not going to go bashing people. This guy he pushed it wrong. He told a guy that he sued me, which never happened, and obviously he's told many people this. So if you are watching this and you got these texts from him, make sure to send them over to me because I'd like to just collect all of this data, deal with it at another date. And like I said, if you're tuned by this guy and you want me to go through the file and go through it and show you my opinion, I have no problem giving you my opinion. I've always been upfront with this. I've always put out the data. I'm putting out way more and more every single day. I'm showing you guys what to look for because it doesn't just benefit, making other people look bad. If you're tuned by me and you see, one of these issues, you're like, hey, you talked about this on your podcast and I saw this. Well, then we're going to fix an issue before it become an issue. We're going to fix something that could have been wrong. I'm human. I make mistakes, right? And cars have issues. The faster you can spot it, the safer it is. We do have an older video that is pretty long and it explains how to go through the logs. We're going to update that, but it just takes time. And I'm still trying to get used to this whole filming myself thing. And we're going to do a thing for the pump control and how to understand, injection timing, things like that for people. And that's mostly like for other tuners to look at it. And, if it helps them, cool, more power to it. There's more than enough customers out here. There's more than enough people that, do want the info that don't know they can ask. I'm telling you, you can ask. It's that simple.
Talk about you stealing.
It wasn't really brought up. Okay, so just let's set this straight. Anytime I've spoken about code work or any of that, I've never said that I do it. Here's on the record. I don't know code at all. Never said I did. Never will say I do. I don't have the time to learn it. Anybody that does do it, I highly respect them. I think it's awesome. Now, I do have other guys that do help me with that, and they make me XDFs and certain things for certain issues that we know are there. And, some of those guys want to remain anonymous, and I can respect that, but I don't do that. So I've heard, rumblings of, that I've taken people's code or something like that. I couldn't do that if I wanted to because I don't know how. So again, instead of talking behind closed doors, let's speak about these things. Let's talk about it. Let's be open. I was told, somebody kind of hinted that the Blackwing limiter thing that we posted, that, I found it from, them finding it. It wasn't found until after Cadillac attack from anyone else. Yet I have a file. You know what? I'll bring the facts because that's how we do it here. A file from the first time I found it, and you can go back and look, predated the video. I was tuning a car for HPS in Houston. It was a Blackwing, and we were like, trying to find this RPM limit issue. If you watched our member video, you know where the table's at. Right here, creation date 1/9/2026. So the fix that was done, I can't show you. It's in our members video because I got to be nice to the members. But the fix was already done 1/9/2026. Cadillac attack was what, 120 something? So I did not apply the fix that I had here in Tim's car because I'm a retard. And I thought that it was in something else that I did. I knew that we had changed enough things to fix it, but I didn't know which of those things it was. And the one thing that I didn't apply to Tim's, I'm sorry, Tim, was the actual fix. If you're part of our members, you'll see the fix. I posted it because the two other people that found it, props to them for finding it. That's super awesome. But they posted about finding it and they didn't tell you. They didn't need to tell you. That's not their job. But here, I told you there's no gatekeeping. We're going to tell you. Yes, we put it behind a paywall. Sorry, but we didn't gatekeep it. It's like $10 to find it. And they can find it, and anybody can find it, and anybody can use it. So, if you want to discuss that, cool too. But, all right, where are we at? All right, what do you got? Is that everything? Did we cover all that?
I think so.
Did we find a discount code?
Yeah, I got a nice try, Didi. Like Diddy. Nice try, Diddy. With comment.
Did you type it in here?
No, I just did it.
All right, so we're doing the discount code. If you are tuned by Didi and you want to be, have it corrected, and you could use any tuner. Don't get me wrong. I'm not the only guy. I'm not the end all be all. But I will give you everything I know, and if I don't know, I will ask, because that's how you do things properly. I will give you the best of my ability. That's all I can do. But I can assure you it's going to be better than this because, come on, this was a basic car and it's wrong. All right, so this is the code right here. I'm going to put it on the screen. Boom. Nice try, Didi. If you type that in, when you go to checkout, that will take 10% off of the tune price for your hardships and your struggles of what you had to deal with.
What? That's cute, but it does that. Oh, wait.
All right, now I'm going to watch this. The subscription page.
Hold on, I'm going to show them exactly.
You have to go on YouTube. Direct? No?
Nope, you can do it on the app now.
Hold on. We just said it's on the app. I don't know. Hold on.
Give it 1 minute. I'm trying to pull it up.
Oh, somebody already pulled it up.
What?
This? YouTube/JWT podcast/membership?
Okay, probably.
Yeah. All right. The code is if you need your car tuned because you were tuned by Didi and you need 10% off, we'll tune the car and take 10% off. A little bit for your hardship. If you guys have questions, comments, concerns, anything you want to speak about, let's put it in the comments now. If you already asked, please ask one more time so I don't have to scroll up and get lost on it. Anything you have concerning the tune, anything that you want to know, let me know. I'm open. You know, if there's something I said wrong, please call me out on it. I'm okay with it. I won't get offended. I just want to know if it's wrong. I want to know why. Yes, discount for a tune. 10. Huh?
It's 10% off.
Yeah, 10% off if
you want a shirt, whatever you want on there, it would be 10% off.
10% off of any merch as well as tuning.
Total order.
For a total order if you were tuned by Diddy.
Because you know, everybody in comments knows try Diddy when it's something.
Are you coming back to Florida? Yeah. Well, look, Florida's easy for us. I live in Puerto Rico. Florida's like a real quick flight if we need to. But for us to go to somewhere, we do need to get a couple cars together. Get a couple cars together, I'll fly out, we'll tune them, you know. And when I do tune in person, which I think every tuner should do this, I'll stand on this grave. If I tune your car in person and you aren't happy with it, at the time, let me know, hey, I'm not happy with this. I will load your old file and refund you your money. You don't pay. That's how it is. Because why would I claim that I'm going to do this right if I can't do it right? And I've had where I've pulled a tune on a car and told somebody, hey, I don't think there's going to be any gains here. You know, if you want me to tune it, I will, but I don't think there's going to be any gain for it. It's not super often, but it does happen. So, you know, more tuners should be like that. This dude was also trying to make me take the car to the dealership because it threw a check engine light for incorrect TCM data. He said it needs shift solenoid characterization.
Stop it.
Yeah. No, that's because it wasn't unlocked properly or programmed properly.
Go down there and put it down.
Question. I want to get tuned with you. How I'm on Maggie, port injection, and meth. Do I select both at once or check out to purchase tune? Yes. So port injection has its own adder and meth has its own adder because it's a lot of complication added to the tuning. We had to do it this way. That way, you know, the more stock cars aren't paying the same price as the guys with heads cam because I just felt like it was super unfair to everybody. So if you got a bone stock vehicle, you can get a tune as low as $550, or if it was tuned by Diddy, it would be $450. All the way up to shit I don't even know, because if you have a super complex car, it is going to be pretty pricey. But with every tune, you get 3 months of free revisions, track support, and you're going to get the best of my ability. If there's anything that I don't know, I will call and ask somebody. You know, I'm working on building a network of people that are like-minded and want to see everybody succeed, because there's way too many cars out here for us to be sitting here fighting over work. It's silly. And if you have questions on some of the adders that you need, you can always reach out and message me. My phone number is public. Everything about me is pretty public. So more than happy to help that. How many what? How many? I'm not sure. What did he ask? When did you come back to Florida? How many? Oh, okay. So typically to make a trip, I try to have it at 5 cars. So if you have 5 cars that you need tuned in one area, that works for me. Let me know, and I'll book it and I'll fly. That's, you know, anywhere we really got to go. We will do our normal East Coast tour, Central tour, and West Coast tour through the year. That's probably going to start later, you know, closer to June. We're going to start our East Coast tour, and then, you know, around October is when we go to our West Coast.
We're doing both every year now?
Yeah. I know. I don't hear how you all even hear about this dude when tuner shopping. When I was looking for LT4 tuner, basically came up with Justin, Prey, Lieber, Stevens. Yeah. And honestly, any of those guys I'm okay with, right? Like, you don't see me bashing everybody, because as crazy as it is, this guy that we're talking about is the only tuner that is known that I will stand on is not a tuner. And as you saw, the copy paste work, the deliberate, obviously didn't understand how things are going, the lack of any injection control modification, any of that. He's not a tuner. I don't care what they say. He's not a tuner. And I have a book of files that show that. I don't think that's fair to anybody that has to deal with that. But you get these guys that, you know, he gets their car to run okay. People don't understand what a proper running car is. It just is what it is. I'm sorry. And they're like, this guy rocks, man, because he answers the phone a lot. And he does answer the phone a lot. But he does less volume than most of us. These other guys, I think they're all good tuners. I think they all do really well. you know, I have respect for all of them because they are actually calibrating things properly. They are doing injection window properly. They are doing things that they're supposed to do. You know, whether I think how good they are or not, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I think. But that one guy is not a tuner, and I'll stand on that. And I'll put that to the test any day of the week if you want. Crazy how much difference a good tune can make. Me and my buddy were mod for mod headers and E, and only he got me by 4 cars. Yeah. Now, get me wrong. Is if it was like a tune from me and a tune from, like you brought up, you know, Stevens or Prey or one of those guys, you know, tune alone, mod for mod, we're all gonna get about the same place. We all, you know, we talk. We're all about the same, right? But when you have a 4-car gap, chances are you had something way off, or you had that guy tune your car. Yeah, I can't do anything about the ads, guys. You gotta have YouTube Premium. I know Wendy gives me shit for it.
Yeah, that's a you thing, not a us thing.
Who's Lieb? Lieb is elite tuned. Brandon Lieb. Add snack bar tuning to the list, and I've come across some names when I was looking for tuners. Yeah, I've heard of Jason Snack Bar, and he does really good. He's real active in the forums. He's very, very educated guy. I'm waiting on my revision. Your tuning services are dope. That's it, hands down best. I got you, man. I told you we're gonna do it after this. I just had to get this out of the story. What's the DSX portion of the story? Honestly, I think he's just grasping at straws. I mean, if I'm going to be exposed, go for it, guys. I don't know what there is to expose. I'm a very public guy on purpose because I don't have skeletons. If there's something that they want to discuss, they can. But honestly, I doubt that has anything to do with them. I think that's just him making shit up. Stan, I'm going to get to it after this. It's been a long last 2 days. I've had a lot going on, so the code should be D Diddy. We're going to leave the code where it's at because she already made it. Right? And it's funnier. She said. That's what she said. All right. Forgive my ignorance because it's definitely stated somewhere, but do you use the scheduler as well for remote log revision simple tweaks? Yes. Yeah, Dylan. I know I'm transitioning in the website and doing the website, and I still use Setmore for my scheduler because I like it a lot better. So just bear with me. But if you're doing just a revision, you would do that through Setmore. So justinwhitetune.setmore.com. If it's a new tune that you're booking or you're paying for like a 3-month deal, you'll do that on justinwhitetune.com, and then it'll email you a link to go ahead and put it on justinwhitetune.setmore.com. $500,000 off customers' work, yet he a ghost in the gym world. Sorry.
He's a ghost in the
GM world. GM world.
I don't think I've ever seen him. I don't think I've ever seen him in person, period.
I've never seen him in person. Well, outside of, I knew him when we were coming up. Like, you know, he came and rented my dyno with Hondas and blew him up on my dyno. He was actually, fun fact, the reason that I had to charge $250 for cleaning the dyno out if you scouted the car. So that goes way back. Yeah, I mean, when's the last time that you guys have been to the track and been going rounds and was like, oh shit, there's a DD Tech car coming up? Can anybody recall that? There's 93 of you in here. Have any of you been to the track and been like, oh snap, there's a DD Tech car coming?
Last time there was a DD Tech car was when they still did that Northern V shootout.
No, that's when he claimed a car that I had to retune on the street.
Oh, that guy was trying to fight you. That one.
Oh God. Oh yeah, I remember that. Don't know where you are in Florida, but your car mine make 2. We need 3. Okay, yeah, you're close. You're close. As far as I know, Dave hasn't said anything. I have no issues there, so I'm not sure. Like I said, I think Derek's making something up because surely they would have said something if they had an issue. What did you miss? Nothing. That's your boy, bud. Your boy just doing your boy shit. Spencer. Because him and Spencer are like that. Yes, message Wendy.
Maybe
She
my
can get that
name
for you.
is correct.
He tuned the Epstein files. Yeah, that's probably why we only got half of them.
That's why it's all redacted.
That's why it's all redacted. My car is port injection, low side of meth on a Maggie 416 BTR stage 2 cam. Can I touch 1100? Yeah. 1100 is not. Depends on how much pulley you have, but 100% you can. We need to talk about that low side though, which low side you have, because you'll need the regular just aux pump is only going to get you about 950-ish on full E. So you'd have to do something like a bigger pump or a booster pump or 2 pumps, or there's something you're going to have to do. Congrats on the fastest Corvette in the Caribbean record. We are coming to take that record back. Game on, baby. Because we're pulling that setup out. We're putting it in the other car that isn't $300,000. That way we can kind of push harder. But we do appreciate the competition, and it's really cool to see everybody in the Caribbean going back and forth to it. And we are happy that we got an 8.3 with the wang on it. So, game on.
He got everything in that thing.
Huh?
He's got everything.
I know. But the wing was the coolest.
Yeah.
What he's talking about, we have a customer out here, Alexander, that has a 2019 C7 ZR1 that we just went 8.3 in the quarter at 2,000 DA and 110 water grain. And it's kicking ass. But he wanted to retire the car on a high note, so that's his new personal record. And then we're going to take everything out so he can put that car in storage because it's worth too much money. And we're going to put everything in a regular C7. So, a lot coming.
Welcome to the regular life.
Huh?
I said, welcome to the regular C7 life.
Yeah. Welcome to the regulars. No, at least it's a Z06, not a Stingray.
Oh, man.
I got to save back up and spend my tuner money on who tuned my LT4 now, but definitely going Justin. Appreciate that. Sorry. At least we're trying. You know, we're giving a 10% discount. 10%'s a lot. I told Wendy 5. She said it's not enticing enough. I said getting your shit fixed is enticing enough. How much power can a stock Z06 LT4 injectors take with port injection? With port injection, they'll take whatever. The limit's not that. Once you go port injection, you don't really have that kind of limit. LMR, we're not doing that. I can't do it. You're right. Yeah, we're gonna move on. Again, I'm not gonna sit here and be pissed that this guy did that and then do it back, right? I'll do it to him because I can back it up with the data. Chris, you can make 1,500 on LT4 injectors once you have port, as you just need the size of the port injectors to handle the rest. Exactly. Doberman is dead on that one. You tuned my buddy's ZL1, and he let me drive it, and I got to say the tune speaks for itself. Car drives phenomenal. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. And that's what we hope to strive for everybody, right? Is that, you know, everything's A1 and everybody's happy. And anybody that's worked with me knows that I will work and work and work. Even when you think you're like, oh, man, this thing's perfect. I'm like, we still got like 10 revisions to go. Don't rush a tune. You know, anybody that says that they can tune your car in 5 revisions, that is a claim that he makes. I will never tune your car in 5 revisions. If that is what you're looking for, I am not your guy. I literally have spent 10, 15 revisions on a bone stock car because there is that much on every car that really needs to be perfected. And if I'm going to put my name on it, I'm going to, you know, if I'm out here saying this, I definitely expect other tuners to go through my files, right? I don't need this video being made about me. So we're going to do as many revisions as it takes to get the car to where I'm happy with it and you're happy with it. And I don't have to be like, man, I hope he doesn't call me about his car blowing up. By the way, Arizona green tea is actually still 99 cents here. Suck it. Because in the States, it's like $1, $2, especially Chicago. No dynos, only street driving and street produced numbers in the data log.
We're trying to put you on blast.
Huh?
Nathan's trying to put you on blast.
Why?
He said, you tuned my car in 3 revisions.
Liar. I have an old truck with an LS3, cam, and 480. Can I get the nice try DD special? If it was tuned by him, and depends on how old it is, because we don't tune Gen 3. So if it's Gen 4, you can. If it's Gen 3, I'm sorry, we don't do that anymore. This is why my 12 to 1,300 horsepower 6th Gen Camaro is staying with JW Tune. Appreciate the support there, sir.
Thank you.
Anybody that wants a sticker needs to reach out to Wendy.
I know. know. I gotta figure out this whole website thing with the stickers.
We're still fighting the website. We're trying, and Sophie's kicking ass with it. It's just, it's us learning it.
Little things.
The Epstein file joke just killed me. If he tuned them, that's why you only got half. Yeah. Absolutely, Wayne. You know we're gonna. Wayne is still currently holding the V3 record, which I'm pretty sure all the V3s that are in the 8s we have tuned, I can say, which is pretty badass. Wayne being the fastest and more to go. Currently, we live in Dorado in Puerto Rico. Yeah. What part of Puerto Rico? Time for me to expose Justin. Here we go. I put it up here before I even asked. He not only tuned one of my cars on E85, but he made it faster when I didn't ask him to. Because you gotta put the time in that it wants, Bo. What is the stock blower V2 record? I would assume you'd have to ask Rick Crawford that, because I assure you he's got it. It's 8 something, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be 8 something. How's the BMW tuner coming? I remember you saying you were venturing into them. Yes, so I did, and then I don't know. I'm really hoping that with the unlock of the ZR1, the ZR1 computer is MG1, and so is BMW. So I'm really hoping that HP Tuners is like, we just do BMWs now. I don't know if they will, but it'd be super cool. But the issue was that there was a lot more GM stuff that I really wanted to learn, so I just stayed focused on that. I know a lot of people tune like a bunch of platforms. I don't do that because I want to know that whatever I'm doing it to the best of my ability, and I don't know that I could really do that while focusing on other platforms. So I just put a pause on it. But if they come to GM or they come to HP Tuners, I'm in there like swimwear, baby. What power should be expected out of 15 Camaro 416 with hair up 2650, 85, and C85 on a dyno jet? What correction factor should I use? You're leaving out too much because it depends on how much boost there is, what the compression is, what cam's in it. You should always use SAE correction. Unfortunately, that's not really something I can answer because there's too much. Any tips? Any first time tuning a car on the dyno? Is VBE only okay if math is tapped out? You really want both working. And you could bias the math 100%, or you could bias, VBE, but you really want to have both. I did not tune your Z06 in 3 revisions, Cap. And I have the text to prove that if you really want to go there, because you were complaining how many files we had to do.
No.
Fury, calm down. LT4 with YSIB, heads cam, etc. What is the expected idle KPA you would like to see? I think I may have a vacuum leak because it idles. So the main thing you want to look at for that, and decently generic, is depending on the cam, I like to get at least 70 KPA or lower. So between 60 to 70, that way you have proper manifold vacuum, and you want to be around 250 to 300 milligrams. So that's the numbers that you really want to look for. My JWT LSA tune is a beast. I will be honest. This guy lives in a mountain range, and it was really dark, and we went to his house because I had to see this car because it's really badass. And he's like, you want to go for a ride and log it? It's one of the only times that I was genuinely nervous to get in a car with somebody. Super cool car, though. He's got a 240 SX with an LSA that makes way too much horsepower. And he drives it like a beast. So just fun fact, I thought that was hilarious. Because his house is nothing but giant redwoods all on the side of the road in twisty mountains. Scary.
There's definitely aliens. He said there's not, but there is.
He said there's no aliens. There's definitely aliens there. Of course there are. I felt ET when I walked up. Finally paid off my trans. Now I'm buying a short block. What boost what boost cam do you recommend? With a Century blower, you can pretty much put any cam you want. It's whatever you make, whatever it would make on engine, it's going to double it. What do you have against God's PCM, the 0411? Honestly, man, I don't feel like remote tuning it that I can log enough data at a fast enough rate to be comfortable, and I know it can be done. Don't get me wrong. I'm just not the guy for it. And I'm man enough to say that. I'm just not the guy for it. There's plenty of guys that can do that, though. I'm about to ban you guys for false information here. I did not tune your Sierra in 3 revisions, and it was perfect. Another tuner sent me 8. It was better, but it wasn't perfect, okay? Stop doing that, guys. You're going to get people believing things that's not true.
If you did tune it in 3 revisions, they would never know because then you just do extra ones.
Yeah, I would do extra just to make it look like we're doing more. Oh, man. I have a spare room here in North Florida. No lodging needed. Just saying, my middle son just went in the Coast Guard last year. Props to him. Anybody that, does military. By the way, we'll throw that out there. If you are military, police, first responder of any kind, we do have a discount code for you as well. If you are, message us. Let us know that you are before you book a tune. I'll give you that discount code because we do support the military. We do support first responders, and we appreciate what you guys do for us because we are too chicken shit to do it ourselves. Honestly. So appreciate him doing the Coast Guard. But yeah, we can, like I said, hit me out. We'll figure something out. I'm totally down. I like going out and meeting people. It's fun. Justin, better be careful next month. DD cars at 2K. I won't be able to sleep at night now, motherfucker. Dude, if you find me a DD car,
I'm bringing my car now.
I will go get Wendy's car, and we could line it up with any car out there for any amount they want in any type of racing that they want. Half mile, quarter mile, standing mile, whatever they want, they can get it.
Charlie said I can pit with them this year. If we
Matter of fact, we may or may not be working on a new 01. He can race that car, and it'll be stock. Huh? C801.
Oh, yeah.
May or may not. May or may not.
You heard me, though?
Have you played with any E68s yet? We're not talking about it. We'll talk about it when it happens.
Want to chuck it?
14 Z51. What tires on welds? 18 offset for quarter mile. I still stand behind the 345, 35, 18 being God's tire. That tire is good, big roll, whatever. Is gangster. If you're on an 18. Cal Duffy, thank you, man. Appreciate that. $5. Need to get my car finished up with you with E85 now that I got the boost controller hooked up. Holla, you know that. We'll take care of it. Do you offer any tuning, teaching, and or courses you would recommend? Courses I would recommend, I think, honestly, the best one I've seen that, and this is my opinion, is Evans Performance Academy. I think there's a lot of good info in there. We may not agree on everything, but I think there's a lot of good info in there. I don't want to do teaching for tuning. I'm not a good teacher. But if you are part of our silver or gold membership throughout this year, I will be dropping tuning tutorials. We're going to tune some stuff live. I'm going to put any tips or tricks that I would do in our membership because I just don't really like to give out that much info, but I know that I said I would, so I will, but you got to pay $5 for it. I'm DD tuned, new engine, cylinder now has oil blowing through. We'll have it rebuilt again. Gonna need that discount. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, holler at me. We'll happily take care of you. $5. Thank you, man, for the legal fee savings.
I'll put that in the thing. Or this, when you do the golf, it says, "What's it for?" I put legal fees.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if this is. I think slender has to be the truth. So again, if I said something that's not truthful, call me out, baby. Tell me what I did wrong. How much of a difference does the 12 rib Reaper make of a difference for the Maggie? So I haven't run it yet. I do have one on the way for my car. We have one on the way for Tim King's car. I think all of my customers have pretty much bought it. It's not so much that it's 12 rib; it's where they place the idler. If you watch LMP's videos. They actually made one itself and put the idler on the correct side, and they were making crazy power with that. I think they made like 1,400 with one. But it's generally the same idea. The idler is on the proper side, which is the pull side. So I'm expecting a lot. I told them that the pulleys I'm looking for, I make 25 pounds of boost on my car. I'm looking to make 30. So I would need you guys to say a prayer for my bottom end when my car gets back together. But that's my goal with it. Lori, Justin Tunes trucks too, 100% badass. Ask me how I know. Lori's truck is badass. If you don't see it in her little thing here, that's a nasty truck. Literally, they accidentally went 940 with it. So When is Wendy shipping t-shirts? I've been waiting for a minute.
Well,
Send Wendy the order number and she will figure it out.
yeah, sometimes they get hung up.
Yeah,
they send automatically. It's automatically set up. They drop ship. So if you haven't received something within a week or so when you ordered it, please hit us up and I will make sure that it's taken care of.
yeah, because you should get it within about a week. If you don't, please let us know and we'll make sure it's taken care of. Game on. We are at the 10 mark revision. Let's make it great. It's awesome already. See, Stan? But we're making these little revisions, but what are we doing? We're making sure that the truck's perfect for you. Because it needs to be right, but it needs to be right for you. And that's what matters. That's what makes us different. I don't have to tell you, I'll show you. Can't wait till you dissect the log. Send it on, we'll make another live. How good is the smooth boost for the Maggie 2650? I've been running smooth boost for quite a while. It works really good. I like it a lot. I run it in several cars. We do a lot of boost by gear. We do boost by mode now. So tour, sport, track can all be different boost curves. It's really cool. That's what the reflex, but we use a smooth boost as well on it. JD keeps both truck and the V going strong and always will. What tires do you recommend for 18 rims street race? Same thing. 345, 35, 18 is God's tire on an 18. Mark Rios, I like those things, man. Mark's also another tuner that, has earned my respect over the years and I think does a great job. So, again, like I said, it's only really one guy that's just has no business doing this. What oil do you recommend for Cam Delta 1? So typically I use, and I'll tell you this, I use VR1 2050 in everything. And if I'm wrong, again, let me know that I'm wrong, but I've been doing it for so long and I don't have a history of losing engines. Like the motors that are in our cars, mine's got like 78,000 miles. Hers has like 40,000 miles. And they're both like 12 and 1400 horsepower. My Escalade runs VR1 2050. Yes, the conventional because I'm cheap. But we also change our oil like every 1,500 miles or 3 hard nights out. So I don't know if that's why. And I don't know how that would work with like a real cold environment. So I just like to make sure I make that clear. Mark, 411s are great. Merry Christmas, everybody. If you have a Gen 3, call Mark. There you go. I have a 99F body. Hit up Mark. He likes them. Chilton, how many revisions are we on with the V? I don't know, but keep in mind, you might have had a fuel problem too and an alternator problem, so it's not on me. Is it better to dyno when remotely tuning or street? So I always want to do street because I want the car to be dialed in the environment it's going to be used. So we'll always start street. If you want to do track, we can absolutely do track. That's the best if you do like a track race the car. If you'd like a dyno, I have no problem with that. We can do a dyno as well, but the car has to come off the dyno. It has to go back on the street to verify because the dyno loads are never just perfect. So whatever we make there, a lot of times the fueling will still be off when you put it back on the street. So just keep that in mind. If you do dyno, we're definitely going to do street. Is the DSX aux pump larger option? He means the 320 with a Racetronics Walbro 450 and FIF 1300 injectors enough for 850 on E85 and V3 Ti on a C6. Yeah, that pump is plenty on a C6 to get you closer to like 900 to 1,000, probably 1,000, and 1,300s are good as long as the fuel system stays, with high pressure, which it will. That's plenty. Veteran discount. Yeah, we said that. So that if you didn't get that and you're curious, any veterans, first responders, police officers, anybody that's out there making sure that we're safe, you have a discount as well. Make sure to let us know before you book it, and me or Wendy can give you the discount code. And we appreciate everything that you guys do for us. When you in Michigan next, walk outside. And when you walk outside and it's warmer outside, I'll be there. I don't do cold. But appreciate that. How to get 600 wheel V3 SI C6 on 91. Come on, man. If you're going to do it on 91, it's definitely possible. It's definitely a safe option to do. You could do it with the stock cam, honestly, but you probably want to put meth in there just to get the octane. The other thing is the V3 head unit makes a good bit of heat. The TI is a little better, but since you have the SI, it's going to make a little more heat a little faster. So make sure that, you you put like a alky control meth kit on it to keep everything cool. That'll give you the octane as well, and you can easily make 600. No rubbing on that 345/35 tire with stock mag ride suspension. I run stock mag ride on my car, and it's a Stingray, and I haven't had an issue. But I did trim the inside of the inside of my fender. I kind of like massaged it with a buffer grinder thingamajigger. Okay, let's go. Tim King has my car awaiting your tuning after he rebuilt my trans. Question: how do I get set up with you for revision since he's setting up the tune with you directly, previously tuned by a different tuner? So I'll work with Tim to get everything kind of set up, go through the learn on the trans, make sure everything looks perfect. He'll drive it, make sure everything's right. And the name looks familiar, so I think we may have already started on it. I'm pretty sure we already started on it. He'll get it ready, and then he'll let you know, and you can reach out to me directly, and we can work directly because, you'll get 3 months prior to that because you need to go through and break in the trans. I believe in 250-mile break-in on every transmission. That's just my opinion, and I'll stick with that. And then we can start doing wide open and dial everything in. So just get my number from him, or honestly online, it's fine. With the 416 Harrop, made 19 pounds of boost. Last time running 8.2 Lambda, had a tapped out injector. Do you think it could pick up more running 78 Lambda? What was the, hold on, I got to go find it. Was this LT, LS? What was it? Walker. 2015 Camaro. Okay, so that's LS. Yeah, if you got a 2650 on 19 pounds of boost on an LS, I definitely wouldn't be doing 82 Lambda. I'd be 78 Lambda at least, if not a little more in the mid range. So for sure do that. I think it would make more too. More fuel will make more because it'll also allow proper timing. Oh, I got lost. Hold on. All right. I'm gonna start building my CTS V2. What are the first mods I should do? Honestly, man, this would be like a consultation question. We do the consultation for you guys. You can book that at justinlightune.com, and we can get on the phone and go over all of this. It's really hard to do that on the lives, unfortunately. I'm going to tell Keaton to get ready, Caddy, young Caddy. You know what? I will give it to Keaton. Keaton's car, does run really well. We will absolutely fuck his world up if he'd like that. But Keaton's a good dude. So he is the only DD Tech car that I do like, but I'm sure there's more to the story, and we would still gap that ass. Gary, thank you, man. I appreciate that. $10. Thank you, man. I know that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Thanks again for keeping my 6-gen Camaro running strong. Anytime, man. Hey, Justin, wondering if you know any good or bad about the TSP LSLT rockers. I haven't had the greatest luck with Texas Speed stuff, so I really don't promote it. And I've made way too much power on stock rockers with a training upgrade that I kind of just stick with what's simple because, keeping it simple is typically the safest way. Did you fit at 18's 12-inch on a Stingray backspacing offset? Somebody asked me this, and I sent them a picture. I don't know what it is. I use Raystar wheels. They're the only ones that fit properly. And yes, I did. It was an 18-inch wheel, and it's actually a 14-inch wide tire. It looks like a damn steamroller, but it does fit. What upper and lower pulley do you recommend for a Maggie 2650 and fueling mods for E85 on a V3? It depends on what fueling mods you have. If you have port injection, that would be a much different answer. It depends on how much fueling you have. It's really hard to say without knowing all of that info. Like I said, that would be more consultation stuff. Do you work or recommend any shops out here in Albuquerque? I don't currently that I know of. I do know we have a bunch of customers out there, and if you're in here, you guys unite. But we do go through that area as well. So I'm sure there's decent shops out there. There's a lot of fast cars out there that I've seen. So no hard pulls for 250 miles after a new trans. Right. Trust me, it matters. I've already tested that way back in the day. It's for sure a problem. Hey. Getting that magic on the keys done right now with you and John at BC. Hopefully this weather gets better and gets dialed in, and hope to come back up to meet you in here. Yep, we do plan on being there at some point soon. And if you've been there, you know why we're coming back. I don't want to say too much on that one. Are C6 Corvettes good dailies, and do you think I get good mile per gallon. I could get good mile per gallon with stage 2. Yeah, you can definitely get good gas mileage if everything's dialed in right and the power enrichment's not coming in too early. And they're absolutely great dailies. They're one of the last Corvettes that actually feels connected. Can you give us a short rundown on how you go about making changes to soy base? I will do that in the member videos. It's not something I would do just right here, unfortunately. I'm trying to plug my laptop in before it dies, because this went way longer than I expected. If you have questions along the way, and you're part of our silver or gold membership, I will happily go through and help you with that. But that'll be a member video coming up. I've already filmed it twice and I deleted both of them. It's coming. I've got to get used to this. You guys just bear with me. Just imagine being in my spot, putting all this out there. It's nerve wracking, but I like it because every time we go to the track, somebody comes up to us and they're like, man, that's really helped us out. I appreciate what you're doing. It makes it all worth it. When people say dumb things in the car world, we are going to call them Dunbar. I already do that. Or you got Dunbarred. Any update on Chicago? Yes, we are coming back to Chicago, but I have to keep that under wraps for right now because we have to go there, film something, and then we'll have people come meet us. Yeah, I know, but I don't know when I'm going. C6 is the best car ever. Debatable. C7 is one of the best cars ever. Unfortunately, that's how that works. I was a C6 fan before we had C6s. Yes, I know. Wasn't sure if I was supposed to say it or not. Yeah. We've already said it, that Bailey has his cars there and that we're going to be meeting him to film it. That's not the secret. It's just that we can't have people showing up when we do come to do it for privacy. That's just how it has to be.
As wild as he is a private man.
He is wild though. What wideband do you recommend for logging? I like the AEM 30-0334 or 30-0300. I don't have an issue with the Ballinger. The only issue I've had, and I haven't had anybody show me this yet, somebody said it. If you use the Ballinger AFR CAN, because people think that the Ballinger is the best wideband in the world, cool if that's how you feel. But the problem is when you log it with CAN, it's so slow that it's unusable. I've heard that there is a way you can make it log faster, or the PID to be faster, but I haven't seen that. If somebody has done that, let me know. But I've had very good success with the AEMs, and I prioritize the narrows more than anything anyways, so that's my opinion. We'll see what Wendy says when she drives the ZR1.
He told me you said I could drive it around for
That's
2K.
different.
For 2K, he said you said
That's
I could
different.
use it.
All right. Thanks, Justin. LSA, the L86 supercharged video is still coming out. So update for you people. We are still doing the supercharger on the Cadillac, and I will film the entire tuning process from start to finish. We will film the build process. But because I'm me and I know who I am, and I don't plan to make more than like 700 wheel, we had a motor built. So I have a forged rod or forged piston with a stock LT4 rod, LT4 crank. It's being built. It's almost done. We're going to take that motor, and I'm still trying to get somebody to cut an LT5 cam with a fuel lobe. If I can't find that, whatever. Nostrum is going to be sending us some stage 1 injectors, so we have plenty of fueling and don't have to put port on it. All of that is coming. So I decided to build a motor to be safe. I don't want to get, you get carried away and you want to peel somebody off, when we're on a road trip with a trailer behind us and we still want to drag that ass. I can do that comfortably with a built motor. So that's what we're doing. Smurf that 01. I know damn well you are not. Huh?
It was just an opportunity that came up.
Yeah, it was an opportunity that came up, so we had to just, do that. What are your thoughts on being able to tune the C801? I will say I have seen the file. It's daunting to say the least, but I may or may not be doing one with the help and guidance of HP Tuner and Matt Sanford. I will be following, their guidance. They're not going to tell me how, but they're going to guide me in it, and we're going to do it similar like they did Cletus's car. Factory component protections. We're not pushing anything like that. It's too expensive of a car. But we do try to plan to make the 11, 80-ish wheel, maybe 1200. It's coming, and we'll film that as well. And then whatever we learn on it, we plan to share that with people as well. That way, more people that are tuning these, can actually see the struggles that we go through and can not struggle as bad as well, right? I know a lot of people want to have that on lock, but I feel like we should work together, just like I've always said that. So Houston in the house. Whoop, whoop. I used the 14.7 Spartan V2, but I saw a Greg Banish article in the Y bands and regretting my decisions. Greg Banish is a super smart man. But he's calibration grade. So no wideband you ever have is going to be good enough for him because he works in the decibels that we don't even look at anymore. Oh boy. All right, we need 2 more cars for Florida. Roll call for Florida cars. AFR 500C comes with a CAN bus USB cable and needs to be updated for faster polling rate. Then it is as fast or faster than the 0334. Okay, see, I wasn't sure. I never tried it, but I did. The polling that it comes with is absolutely atrocious. So I'll test that out on the next one. I do like the sensor that they use, so, that's a benefit, but I just couldn't get over how bad it was at polling. L8T built engine with LT4 direct injection setup and 1300 DSX port injectors together with 3 pumps in the tank. How much horsepower on turbo setup? If it puts out enough fuel on E85, 1500 should be pretty attainable. Decently safe as well. Kids are being crazy. Calm it down, psychos. All right, how much do you think the C706 could make, or can it make 1100 all day? I think on stock motor, an LT4 tuned properly can settle around 1100 pretty reliably. On a PD blower, if it's on turbo 1400, they can handle that pretty reliably. I have a 2019 Sierra lifted with 35-inch tires. Want to run E85 with stock LT1 injectors and pump. Also has a BTR Stage 2 cam. Will it work? It'll be close, but yes, it'll work. It should work. I don't see that being a problem. What's the cooling setup on the C7 for back-to-back runs without IET skyrocketing? A big-ass ice tank and a proper camshaft. And believe it or not, the camshaft matters when it comes to intake temps. Blew my mind, too. Well, we have a camshaft shootout coming up, and we'll be documenting all of that, intake temps, blah, 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 what the cams do. That'll be a cool YouTube journey that we're going to go down in another few months. So stay tuned for that, and that'll give you a lot of that information as well. Those race stars 18 by 10.5 are like plus 76 offset. Anybody that was asking, that's what I run, and they fit perfect. They're the only wheel that fits the Stingray perfect. Late for the drama, but wishing the best while I'm on the road. Hopefully I'll be back soon. We can finish tuning. Yeah, get back so we can make that ZR1 run. Can you make 950 with diamond pistons and stock LT1 rods and crank? Yes. But you should put a better rod in it. I don't know why you wouldn't. If only you knew how much I've been trying to get a C8 ZR1 once that news was revealed. Best believe you're going to work your magic on it. I'm not ready yet. He's fitting a 345 on a 10.5-inch wide. Look, it fits. It fits great. I can, there's plenty of pictures of the car with those on it, right?
What?
The black wheels on my car with the big wide tires on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's pictures. Go through our Instagram. They're on there. They fit really well. How much can a 6-gen Z01 make with headers, E85 with rotofab and big gulp? 650 to 700. I've seen right at 700. With stock boost, it's going to be tough. Depends how hard you want to push it. 650 though, for sure. Thank you for trusting us and letting us do our work for you. A couple minutes behind here. I believe you can right click on the wideband transform. Yeah, well, no, I've tried editing there. It has to be done in the actual box itself. So what Mark was pointing out, you have a USB and you have to connect it to your laptop and adjust it there, because I've already tried that part. We do have a couple customers already in Colorado, and we'll be coming through Colorado. But I always suggest that we get started remote first. That way, if we find any issues, we can get those taken care of ahead of time. And then, if I'm ever coming through your area and we tune your car, we're more than happy to stop by and, check it out in person. What's your thoughts on force injection interchillers for the Harrier 2650? Currently getting 130 IET at watt. Could dial in the injection timing help? Yes, injection timing can help with your cooling. But the interchiller works really well too. I'm not a huge fan of it just because it's not as practical, in my opinion, for a lot of cars, but it does work. Is a P3 gauge recommended for your remote tune? And are you ever coming to Baton Rouge? My car's in Baton Rouge. I'm always in Baton Rouge. Yeah. We always go through Baton Rouge because our family lives in Gulfport and we fly into Houston. So we're always crossing through there. I don't like the wideband for the P3, so I would recommend getting an AEM 30-0334 and hooking that up. So, all right, give it a few more minutes. Anybody that's on Instagram or Facebook wants to come in, has any questions, has anything they want to discuss about what we went over, want to see anything else, I got all the facts, let me know. Go to Tuned In with JWT on YouTube. That's the only place that we answer questions. That's just how it works. It makes it easy for me. I can pull them up on the screen. I'm a simple person. But I'll give you a couple more minutes to get any more questions that you have. And then I got to get my butt back to work before I start getting people making videos. But I hope I at least dispelled everything that, was said. I brought the facts, and I hope you guys can at least respect that. I know the drama is not always warranted, but I can't let people, go about saying things that aren't true like that because that's a serious matter. It's a very big legal matter that didn't even happen. And, keep in mind, if I got to tell you how good I am, chances are I'm just not good. When are you coming back to NorCal for tuning? That will be later in October area, I think. Around that time.
Around Halloween, because I want to go there.
Yeah, around Halloween, because we went trick-or-treating in one of the rich people neighborhoods, and they do full-size candy bars, so we're doing that again.
They do full-size apple juices.
They did alcohol.
They had all kinds of
stuff. They had everything. It was lit. I don't even drink, and it was lit. When you coming north I-35 through Oklahoma? That's not that far out of our way, but we'd probably just be better off meeting halfway.
Well, maybe when we go to the Escalade.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you just got to hit us up. Jack Russ, thank you for being a member. If you guys aren't in our members, make sure you join it. It's not expensive. It really helps us take that to, doing more projects, the camshaft shootout, putting out the info, help us grow, help us, build this page, because the more we grow, the more info I'm going to put out and the more you guys can learn together. When you come to Baton Rouge, would rather get it in person tune. Just message me. I don't know when we'll be back through there. I'm not 100% because I got to go there to put the parts that are coming for my car on. So, yeah, just message me and stay in touch. It won't be that long.
In the next 2 months, probably.
Yeah. How hard can we tune a stock 10L80? I'm not sure what that means. What does that mean?
How much power can they hold? Let's go with that again.
How much power can a 10L80 hold? 800, 900 pretty easily. Very easily. Got into the 4-second 6130 full stock motor Stingray Vortec V3 with your tune. Oh, hell yeah. Damn, you went force?
Whoop, whoop.
That's crazy. And does it still run? Be honest. Just look, hit me on the back line. Let me know that it still runs. Because if it does, that's awesome. That's sick. Made 693, 640 on my C7Z06 Kong export headers 103 throttle body. Would you go port injection or cam to get 800? Both.
Both of them.
Both of them. Yeah. I know you can't run the 85 just because, you don't have enough fueling, but honestly, even the cam is only to give you a little bit more fueling. The port will give you everywhere you want to go. Plus, it also gives you lambda control. It gives you, boost control. It gives you all kind of different options. So, the Reflex does a lot of cool shit for the money. Yeah, it's running fours, no changes at all. Runs fine. Haven't even changed the plugs. Don't tell me that.
Oh my god.
Put plugs in it, fool. But that is super cool to see, man. I really think that's badass. That's fast. That's fast for a stock LT1. Faster than I've ever gone with a stock motor. Oh, no, because you blew mine up.
What?
You blew my stock motor up.
In what?
My car.
So you blew it up. Because it didn't blow up.
No, I drove to the gas station.
It didn't blow up with me driving it, I'll tell you that right now.
We're not getting into that right now.
It drove fine for me.
Crazy part, you made my brother fall in love with C7Z06 because the tuning you done on my old V3. That's why he wanted to go with you right away when he bought the C7. Wait till we get that C7 right. That thing's going to be spicy. Uh-oh, get plugs. Look, he knows. He knows because I yell at him all the time. And then he changed the plugs and cracked one. You bastard. Oh, man. What plug would you recommend on a 6-Gen Z01? Depends on the mods. Depends on the fuel. Depends on a bunch of things. I run a lot of different plugs just for different reasons. I'm a picky bitch. I really am, especially when it comes to plugs. That's what he's talking about over here. I mean, maintenance is everything. Like, you can keep these motors living, making stupid power for a long time, and all you got to do is change the oil and change the plugs and keep it happy. If you keep it happy, it's going to keep you happy.
Word.
If you're lazy and you don't maintenance it, shit's going to blow up.
Yes, that's all we do to mine.
How much power do you think it takes to run a 480 60 to 130 in third full weight A8 C7Z? To get into the fours, I think I made like 800-ish when I got into the fours, and I made 900 when I went 450. So, but I don't think I did it all in third gear. So it should be around there. Finally putting the trans you built in the car and building the motor. Yeah, Aiden did tell me that. He did say it because he's like, how much is that trans rated for? I said, more than he makes by a lot. The trans that we had built for Aiden back in the day, he sold it to that guy. So it is a full built trans. It's got everything in it.
One of the final features.
It's the last 8-speed I ever built.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had an incomplete zones warning pop up when tuning the VVE? Every time I try to make changes, I get that message about zones. Yes. You have to actually go through. I can't plug up and show you. You have to just message me and I can show you, but you have to go in and actually alter the, what do they call them? I'm blanking right now. Oh, I'm on the wrong type of tune. We can't pull that out. Let's do this one. Go under airflow, dynamic, and then you have RPM zone boundaries and P ratio boundaries, and you alter those to get it in the zones that you need. So hopefully that's what you were asking. When is your C7 going to be done? My C7 is at Russell Motorsports getting a lot of stuff done. So I'm assuming the winter time. I'd like to have it fired up somewhere around summertime, but probably the winter before we're actually out, because I didn't want to like bring it back out with like 1 or 2 changes. I wanted to come out and knock motherfuckers' heads off.
Bro, I just want to be able to drive my car first. You always steal my thunder.
Ain't nobody stealing your thunder right now. That car
Yeah.
is fucking nasty.
Right.
You were able to run a porta blower on that setup. What the hell? I was told I can't port the blower until I go port injection on your same setup. He said he can't run E85. That's a big difference. With 1300cc injector would be too big to run port injection on an LT4. What size injector would be good on the LT4? I have 1300s in mine, and it runs fine. What?
That's the way you said that. It sounds funny.
Oh, yeah. No, 1300s are fine. What's the best bolt-on LT4 on stock fuel system? E85. Intake and exhaust. Period. That's it. That's all you need to go literally almost in the 9s. If you look up a guy, Parker Manley, that's what he's got. And he's been real close to the 9s. And in good weather, he would absolutely go 9s, 100%. If you could pick any cam for a stockish V2 LSA, which one would you be rocking? Probably be the Red Hot cam or anything from Rick Crawford. Appreciate the donation, though. Yeah, Rick actually did the new cam in my motor. He did the new cam for Wayne. He did the new cam for Tim King's car, which made 1275 horsepower, 1,250 foot-pounds. Fucking monster.
Why didn't you do the one from Escalade?
Huh? Because I'm trying to put a stock cam in the Escalade. Because we don't want to go wop, wop, wop.
Yeah, it says that it just got.
But apparently nobody can cut an LT5 cam spec on a on a 1-bolt cam so I can keep the VVT. So I'm really struggling. So we may not be able to do the fuel lobe, but we're going to just put a stock cam in it. I want my V2 like Wendy. I look up to your V, Wendy. I look up to it too, because I even tried to replicate her shit and blew my motor up like 3 times just trying to go as fast as she went on accident.
It wasn't on accident.
Depressing.
My car does great. Thank you. If you're ever around, I'll take you for a ride.
Oh man. All right. I think that was a good live, especially for being a pop-up live that was literally last minute. But like, again, if I got something to say, I'm gonna say it. If I don't like you, you're gonna know it. I think that's fair. I think that's how everybody should be. And you shouldn't have to sell yourself to anybody. You should be able to just, help others, grow the community, and work together. That's all it is. That's all we're trying to do. But FDD Tech, that's all I got. If you are part of DD Tech and you want, tuned correctly and you want a discount, the code is, what is it? Nice try, DD?
Yep.
Nice try, DD.
Sorry. I was
Okay. Nice try, DD. That's the code. 10% off of anything on our website, justinwhitetune.com. Again, I appreciate everybody that did tune in. This is way more people than I expected to tune in. And I hope that, you guys enjoyed it. What fueling mods do you recommend for a V3? Port injection and an aux pump.
Oh, also, if y'all are going to any events, let us know what they are, because I'm trying to fill up our year.
Yeah. Any events that you guys are going to, Dragon Drives, anything, we are going to the Rocky Mountain Race Week. Big announcement. We will be there in Wendy's car, laying the hammer down, doing wheelies and shit.
As fast as they'll let me go.
As fast as they'll let her go.
Justin said I can only run 10s.
Tim calibration transmissions for the win. Tim is the GOAT. Absolutely. Tim did all of our transmissions. So my transmission is Circle D and my Vet, and Tim did Wendy's as well as several other customers. And both of them are crazy badass transmission builders. Yes, we'll be at Texas 2K. Thanks again. Thank you guys soon. Come to all the call out in New Mexico. Shoot me the details. What?
I said I might bring my car now. Charlie from New York and them are going to be there. They have a.
Is he?
Yeah, they're pitting. He said I can park in their pit.
Damn, that's cool. I didn't know that.
He said just be prepared because he's going to be calling out everybody. I said I stayed ready.
That's funny. All right, we're going to wrap this up. I got a lot more tuning to do. But again, that's my message. If you got something, say it to somebody's face. Stop being a little girl. Cadillac Attack, Dragway 42, stop by the shop. You can't miss it. Unfortunately, we will not be attending Cadillac Attack anymore, period. But if I am up in that area, I will happily swing by. All right. Y'all have a good night. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next Wednesday. Right?
This Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This Wednesday, same time, same channel. We'll be here. You be here. Thank you for tuning in.